Okay. Okay. What an interesting night it's been already. Let me. Sorry, I rearranged my microphone a little bit. Okay. I hope everyone's having a great night. I'm just snacking on a little bit of food. And let me get the chat set up. Hello, everybody. And I'll just wait for a little bit as people show up. We've got some very important news to talk about today. Very important. And lately it's been an interesting time in the tablet world. Tablets have been released with very little fanfare, like the XP Pen Artist Pro 22 Gen 2. And we knew that the Wacom Intuos Pro was coming. Hello, nothing here to see. Can you hear me? Just want to double check my audio is working for people. Good to see you. Okay, please just let me know if the audio is working. That way I'll set it up correctly. Anyway, in previous streams I've mentioned that we knew a Wacom Intuos Pro was coming. And the reason we knew that was pretty simple. What's the right word here? There's a site. Thank you, Ryan. There's a site. I think it's like FCC. It's not. I don't know if the official FCC site, but basically it's the site that tracks information that they submit to the FCC. And I think some months ago, we discovered that Wacom was planning an Intuos Pro refresh in 2025. We weren't sure of the exact timing. The dates in those documents made it seem like it was I think we had in our mind February 25th, or it's not really clear actually, because sometimes these dates appear in these documents and it can be many months before the product appears. For example, I think we knew about the Wacom Move Ink 13 for many months before it actually came out. Anyway, we got a hold of this information. By the way, it's not secret. It's not like I have some special access. People know about it and they forward me links, and we talk about it in the Reddit and the subreddit, the Wacom subreddit, all the time, and on the Discord. And in those documents, we know a few specs. But just literally half an hour ago, someone posted on the subreddit and simultaneously on the Discord that, hey, this is now public information. They actually have photos of the new Wacom Intuos Pro. And I'll talk a little bit more about the timing of it, because it's now only, February the 11th, and we expect it on February 25th. So we'll talk a little bit about the timing and what it means and what's actually working right now. And then Wacom has published some information on the website. It's apparently available to purchase in some locations, but not in others. And they made a video on their Japanese channel. And there's some videos on Bilibili, the Chinese version of YouTube. So we'll just take all the information we know and we're just going to react to it. And, I'm still trying to process it, because I will tell you, it looks a little different than I expected. And by the way, no, I don't mean the laugh there wasn't to indicate anything that I'm dissatisfied with. I just didn't expect it to have the buttons that it has. That's really the short answer. Okay, it looks remarkably different in just its shape than the older Intuos Pros of any year that I've seen, and I've had them all. So we'll talk about it. Okay, let's. But you don't need to see my face so much. Let's see if I can find the web page. Let me go to my Discord and get the links here. Let's see, Snoot. Interesting. Available in the Philippines last time I checked, but the shop site is down now. Interesting. They may be in the middle of deployment. Frankly, I'm scared that they released it too early accidentally. And I'll talk more about that as someone who did big multinational launches. But I just want to make sure we can actually have materials to talk about. Okay, where is that darn Discord link? I apologize, I'm eating in the middle of talking on this stream, but I needed something. Okay, don't switch. Let me get the Discord over here. I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited about it. It's so rare that Wacom introduces new tablets, especially Intuos Pro. So this is just going to be fun. We'll just talk about whatever we want to. I'll take any questions on any topic. I see we have a question here from, I think it says DRTRD Pixel. Good morning. You didn't miss anything. I was just preparing to pull out some information, which I'm now doing, and we're going to take a look, and we're going to just see what has been revealed. So you didn't miss anything. I've just been chatting with the audience. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a great mood. I'm energized by this announcement, and I hope you can see that there's a good energy in me right now. Let's see. Let me get, we'll look at the specs and things. Okay, so Yuki Dama, who's one of our newest colleagues, who is the technical expert now on the physical implementation of the hardware of these tablets. I think he's the first one that had the link. And I think it's just actually on Wacom's site. So let me go and yeah, it's actually on Wacom's public site, on their English site. So that's fantastic. Now let me go and share it with you. And give me a moment, because now I have to, let's see, I want to go demo. 1 second. I just got to change what this, I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Stream, there we go. This should be, we're almost there. I'm still sometimes not really used to how these apps, okay. Can everyone see? Right, so this is just on the normal Wacom site for EN-US, so the English site. 2D Animax, first time, huh? Well, I hope you're not disappointed. I'm very comfortable in front of the camera, actually, but I haven't. It's only this year, or very late last year, I decided to sort of get my face out there, because I think you should see some of the emotion behind what I say. But I'm glad to have you here. Okay, let's see. Okay, so they have this site. Let me just tell you what we are seeing, okay? And let me make this a little, so let me just make it a little bit bigger on my own screen. So, of course, in classic Wacom fashion, they are just calling this Intuos Pro. And let's click on Learn More here. Oh, sorry, I got to click on the right thing here. Okay. And this is, of course, the first reaction I have is this is itself going to cause some confusion. Where is Intuos Pro? Oh, again. And, oh, sorry, now they're labeling it Wacom Intuos Pro 2025, okay? So right here, you can see a picture. This is the medium size, by the way. And the first confusion is they're just calling it Intuos Pro. And, I really wish they'd follow the practice we see with Huion and XP Pen, where they say Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen whatever, because, yeah, the years will work, but it just gets a little bit confusing. I think it's a little bit uglier to see the years. Because, when it's 2026 and it's labeled 2025, it'll make it sound like it's out of date. That's why I prefer the Gen 1, Gen 2. So there's some basic text here. I don't think it's too interesting what their text is. Basically, they talk about a workflow that works. Standard sort of marketing text. And now this is interesting. They say redesign from the inside out. And let's just see what they say, right? Okay, Wacom Pro Pen 3. Okay, I'm liking that. It's a good pen. Combined with powerful new chip and digitizer set. Okay, so something has changed, they claim, more deeply in the tablet. This isn't just the same old digitizer repackaged with a few extra buttons. You can see the buttons on top. We will talk about that extensively. Let's see if we can find some details about what the chip does. What are they talking about? Let's take a look. Charlie. That's a strange button configuration. I'm open to new things as long as they work. I'm not a fan of reaching to the top of anything, let alone a wing. I'm right there with you. I posted on Twitter and on my YouTube community. I'm just trying to emotionally process the shape of these buttons and their location. For me, it's very weird. Okay, it's weird just because I have the same feeling as you. It's like weird for me to reach to the top of the tablet. And I'll talk about more when we get to the large size tablet. And of course, the Intuos Pros have had side buttons forever. So this is a dramatic shift, right? It's weird. They're saying most accurate pen stroke. They're not really clear if the pen stroke has gotten more accurate or anything. They're saying longer battery life. This asterisk there says compared to Intuos Pro 2017. Intuitive controls, I suppose they mean the express keys on the top. Ultra slim, compact design. Ultra slim was interesting. We saw the Moving 13 is their thinnest, it's a pen display, but it's thinner than almost any pen tablet Wacom has ever released, except I think one. So I'm expecting this to be very thin also. We'll see. Okay, and let's see if there's anything else they're saying here. A few quotes. Okay, stroke of genius. They're talking about the Pro Pen 3, emphasizing 40 years of technical innovation. Amazing strokes, also customizable. Honestly, it just seems like this is the standard Pro Pen 3. Nothing special here. They haven't changed anything. Right? Snoot. Hopefully the price of 2017 Intuos Pro goes down. I've always wanted to replace my older PTH-851 with newer models. Well, we'll get to the pricing, but from our Discord chat, I think the feeling is the price is actually increased. And we'll see if we can get, we don't know because it's not in the US store yet, but we suspect the price has increased. Let's see, Arch. Wacom Intuos Pro, not included in Intuos Pro, Wacom Intuos Pro by Wacom, or Wacom Intuos Pro. Yeah, it's classic. It's classic. But I think at the very least now they are saying Wacom Intuos Pro 2025. So now we can always just, implicitly use the year number and we know what we're talking about. Okay. So anyway, Pro Pen 3, I don't think they've changed this at all. Get dialed in. Intuos Pro features an updated ergonomic layout, tactile, mechanical dials, and express keys designed for use with either hand, ideally positioned for use alongside a keyboard. They come pre-configured for a common set of functions, but they are customizable individually and in sets. I guess what they're saying is you can do it globally as well as by app, maybe. Oh, that's what they see next. And it looks like there's a Bluetooth button. No surprise there. Not sure what this button is, though. We'll see if we can find out the information. 3 tablet sizes, USB cable or wirelessly, 16 hours of battery life. Oh, this is interesting. A new feature allows it to remain paired to 2 computers at the same time. A new wireless feature. Okay, that could be useful. I personally don't switch between 2 computers. It's funny, I literally have 2 computers in front, actually 3. I don't literally switch the same tablet between 2 computers like fast. But I suppose if you're traveling with your new Intuos Pro 2025 from work and home or just moving around, then that's a very useful feature, right? I think it would be. Yeah, and that's actually, sorry, I went ahead. That's exactly what they say in the next sentence. Okay. Okay. Compatible, versatile, and compact. I'm always inventing new words. Ultra thin, rugged, magnesium alloy back. I don't think the old Intuos Pros were magnesium alloy. I think the Moving 13 is. So maybe this is a little bit of influence from the Moving 13. Let's see. Custom comfort, efficiency, and productivity. Let's see. They got a few more questions. $2D Animax. They are wireless. $2D Animax. They support both wired and wireless. Let's see. Oh, yes, IQ draws stuff. That's Ryan, everyone. That would make sense, right? If you need to switch quickly, that other button might be the switching thing. Yes, good point. And for testing software between macOS and Windows, could be useful to switch between back easily. Yeah, that's another great point. Yes. It does look thin from the photos. We'll see if we can find the exact specs. But yet, it does look thin. Yeah, if I had to guess, it seems like it's, what is the Moving? Like 6 millimeters or 4 millimeters? It's like really crazy thin. Okay, now here's the big news. One of the big parts. Take a look at the photos here, and they will explicitly mention it. Notice they have a Pro Pen 2 here, okay, implying compatibility, but they also have these other pens here. These are all the ones that are compatible with the Wacom, what do they call them? Wacom 1 tablets. So that's quite interesting, and they mentioned that in this title here, Customize Your Stroke, weird subtitle. It works with the Pro Pen 3, and it works with the older Pro Pen like the Wacom Pro Pen 2, or stylus made with EMR technology from Pilot, Lamy, or Stettler. Now, what this should mean is that the Wacom 1 pens, CP913 and CP923, will also work. And the reason I say that is, if they work with one of these pens, it's not like they can tell the difference between the pens, so they just all work together as a set. So let's see if we can find that. Sustainable design, yeah, I'm sure it's quite sustainable. I don't think that's such an important thing. Okay, 3 sizes here. Intuos Small. Notice the Intuos Pro Small only has 2 of these controls, 2 of these buttons and this dial for buttons and this dial itself. And yeah, Snoot, it is Lamy, the fountain pen company. They've made EMR pens for compatible with some tablets for quite a while. Actually, I'm only familiar with them from the EMR pens. I'm not so familiar with them about fountain pens. So we have the Intuos Pro Small. Ryan has something here. Moving is 6 millimeters at top, 4 millimeters at bottom. Thank you. I forgot it's a little bit thicker at the top. Intuos Pro Medium, Intuos Pro L. Okay. Now it's not obvious for all of you, but I think it's later on the page, but we'll get to it. These tablets have a different aspect ratio. I think all Wacom tablets that are pen tablets that don't have a screen have a 16:10 aspect ratio or close to it. These apparently have a 16:9 aspect ratio. So that's good. The vast majority of monitors are 16:9. So what this means is, at least statistically, you won't have to set forced proportions in the driver as often, and people will get statistically less frustrated with their tablets. Okay, so that's good. Okay, next big surprise. Take a look at this. We'll talk about the numbers, then I'm going to go on my pressure levels rant. 8,000 pressure levels across all 3. Okay, before I get to pressure levels, I just want to say one more thing. There's a pair of these controls here, but there's 2 on the medium and 2 on the large. So the small doesn't have quite the same flexibility of input. Okay, I never recommend small tablets anyway, but I just want you should be clear on that. Okay, back to pressure levels. Just 8,000. And they're not following the trend of saying, hey, we have 16,000 pressure levels. And I think that's a fine thing. I've gone over this many times. I think that 16,000 pressure levels is, it's just kind of fake, okay? I'm not saying they're fake like they're lying. It's more like it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. And if the 40-year in the market leading tablet brand with the most advanced technology, if they're telling you they're sticking with 8,000 pressure levels, that's just further, I think showing that like 16,000 is not a real thing, okay? And, look at this. They say 5 express keys and 1 dial. So I guess that means that ring, I wonder if the middle part is pressable. Okay, because they say 10 here and 10 here. Okay, and then built-in Bluetooth, of course. Now, I'm going to press on Shop Now, and we're just going to see what happens. Our bad. Okay, so in the U.S., you can't buy it. I think someone said earlier in the Philippines, the store is available. And I think someone on the Discord mentioned that in the Japanese side, it might be available for purchase. So as soon as it's available, I'll purchase it. Okay. Let's see. Arch has a comment here. I can't wait for tablets to just evolve into paper, being a millimeter thin, flexible and light, coming full circle. And maybe if they were that thin, they would also support a screen in them, right? That also would be like the ideal thing, I think. They'd essentially be a kind of electronic paper. 2D Animax. So these are rechargeable pen tablets. Yes, they are. My question is, what is battery lifespan? Not battery life. I know it's 16 hours. Can we replace batteries? A long time ago, I can't remember which model, Wacom Intuos Pro or their equivalent had, I think, replaceable batteries. They're, as far as I know, these, and for a while now it's been true, and certainly I think it's true in this case, these are not designed to be replaceable batteries. I'm sure you could crack it open and do something that would probably mess it up maybe, but they're not designed to be replaceable. I'm very sure of that. Okay, so this is what they have for just the overview. Let me take a look at my Discord just to see if anything else is, people are saying anything. 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to click on the specifications, and then we'll take a look at what we have here. Okay, Wacom Pro. Okay, they did confirm tablet size is 16 by 9 aspect ratio. Look how thin it is. 4 millimeters. So technically this is thinner than the Wacom Move Ink because the top part of the Move Ink is 6 millimeters. This is just 4 millimeters. So it's thin, and I think that's great. I will tell you that with the Move Ink, having it that thin makes it feel a little, what's the word I'm looking for? I was going to say mysterious, but that's not what I wanted to say. Luxurious. It makes it seem more premium and luxurious that it's thin and rigid. So that's why I think that the magnesium back is helpful here. But at this thinness, you should be careful because you might actually be able to bend it, right? Ergonomics, right or left-handed use? Well, of course, because the buttons are only on the top, so you don't need, hardly needs to be advertised, but okay. Productivity boosters, okay, we got that. Easy to connect, sure. Let's take a look at a few comments. Welcome, tablet puppy, or tablet kitten, which is the other name she goes by. Arch, higher polling rate, resolutions, filtering, also probably use more power, battery. Oh, good point, Arch, good point. No 16K means missed marketing opportunity by Wacom. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I mean, I don't think it's going to impact anything, right? I don't think anyone's going to, let me say it like this. I think if you have a loyalty to Wacom, the fact that they don't have 6K, I don't think it's going to make you switch, right? And I don't know if anyone, this is just me thinking here. I don't know if anyone, even if they're not a brand loyalist, I don't know if they would say, oh, that's going to be the deciding factor to switch. So if it is a miss, I don't think it's a big miss, but I'd love to see if you think differently. Okay, Ryan agrees with the 16K. I think are you thinking about Tablet Puppy's take on it? Okay. I just bought a Deco Pro 2 XLW. I'm really enjoying it. 6K isn't really something I've noticed. Turbo Nerd, same thing. I love that tablet, the Deco Pro 2, the XLW Gen 2. And I loved it. And I didn't notice anything about 16K. I didn't notice anything at all about it. So I think it's a limited value, to be quite honest. Okay, Mahito? Is it the same price or more expensive than 2017 models? We're expecting more expensive. I forgot what the theory was. I'll see if someone in the Discord has it, but I think we're expecting like at least 10%. I think someone wrote they would think it's 10 to 20% more expensive. Now, let me assure you, I wish it was not more expensive. They should not be charging this much for a pen tablet, right? They absolutely not. Vishal, do they support touch? It's unclear. We're going to take a look at the specs, and that's a great question. I'll try to look out for that. Thank you. Let's see. And I think Ryan said it's 4 millimeters, and you said flimsy. So yeah, that's my concern too. Like the moving, I wouldn't call it flimsy per se, but how can I do this for you here? I'll use my phone as an example. Like the moving is thin enough that I know that if I took it, this is just a phone, I wouldn't try to flex it, right? I'd be afraid to flex the moving. And so I'd be afraid to flex this. So I would be, if you're going to get these tablets, I'd be doubly careful that they're packed in something if you're traveling. Because I would be afraid that, let's say, an Intuos Pro Large, which I have, like if someone banged on it, I don't think it would deform it. I don't know about this one. Okay, so it's an interesting thing. Let's see. Mekhiz, I wish XP Pen Huion copied this feature physically. Which feature do you mean, Mekhiz? Question for screen: do you prefer buttons on the side, on the top, or separate? I'm a separate person. I like them separate because if they're on the top, I don't know how to explain this. I just have this mental block to touch them. I just don't want to reach. And you have to remember, I use large tablets. Okay, I use very large tablets. So reaching up top it's like you're really stretching your arms out for me. On the side, I tend to not use them because I accidentally trigger them with my palm or my forearm. So I tend to disable buttons on the side. So I'm just I use my Tourbox. It's a completely separate device. But I know for some people, buttons are critical. They're just absolutely critical. I'm not sure if I would be able to say people like them at the top or the side so much. I don't know. Turbo Nerd, 4 millimeters seems so unnecessary. I wonder if it's as durable as the older ones. Yeah, I mean, I think you have a fair point there. Like, there's no real. Let's put it this way. I think the Wacom Intuos Pro 2017 is something like 8 or 9 millimeters. So this is, let's just say it's half the thickness. Did the thickness really change anything? No. Because 8 or 9 millimeters is what the thickness of an iPhone. So, I almost feel like this is just a industrial design choice they made to be cool. And yeah, I do worry about its durability, quite honestly. Your average Joe. Did we get a price point? We're trying to figure that out. The sense is it'll cost a bit more, like 10 or 20%. I'll see if someone on the Discord actually has a number in store. I know they have the numbers, I think, for Japan, but I don't think anyone converted them in the Discord. So I'll double check a little bit later on that. Man, so many good questions. I love this. Okay. And then Charlie. I agree on your perspective. Pressure on a pen, 16 levels, business. Nobody in actual production setting wants to press very hard unless they really want arthritis. Yeah. But just to be clear, the 16 pressure levels is how many different levels within the pressure range. Wacom Pro Pen 2 has a max pressure of like 800 gram force. I don't think anyone actually presses that hard. I mean, like, you have to try. In fact, it feels a bit, for me, it feels nervous. I'm nervous when I press it that hard. They don't even promote Intuos Pro line that much. That's true. I guess they don't really. But then they're the market leaders. They don't have to. Thin equals premium. Yeah. Oh, Ryan, I was referring to your point about 16K. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for clarifying. Charlie, PTK-x70 is one of the versions with the removable battery. I never use it without being plugged in. Same here. I only ever use wireless tablets when I'm testing them. Every now and then, I don't have enough cables. I use wireless. We have. Thank you, tablet kitten, tablet puppy. I'm gonna show this to people in a second. If I can figure out how to save this, or get my Discord up. How do I do this? I'm on. Give me 1 second. I gotta launch Discord on my another computer here. Discord. Copy image. Okay, hang on a second. So I'm going to show you. Tablet Kitten has calculated the prices. So let me just say it out loud. I'm reading them in order of lowest to highest. So from small to medium to large. Are you sure about those numbers, Tablet Kitten? Because that seems... that can't be right. Okay, I'm waiting for the confirmation. I don't want to panic anyone, so I'm waiting for Tablet Kitten, Tablet Puppy to tell me a little bit more about the prices here. I'll tell you what she's written. Okay, I'm going to wait on that one because I don't want to alarm anyone. Oh, Wacom prices are higher in China. Okay. So I'm going to wait on the prices because I think what I'm getting from the Discord is the numbers I'm seeing here. I'm going to go with Ryan's one, okay? Ryan's saying $406.75 for the medium. That's US dollars. Ryan, what? That can't be right. That in Japan, okay. If you're taking the Japanese price and converting to US dollars, that's 406, you're saying? Because it's 62,000 Japanese yen. Okay. So I think there's a little bit of, we're still not totally sure, but long and short, the sense is I think this is going to be expensive. And I'm getting the sense that the large one is actually even close to the moving price, like $700. Okay, so but let's not let's not jump to conclusions too fast. We don't know the exact price. We're estimating from what we see in Japan and trying to convert it to US dollars. So let's take that with a grain of salt. Let's just wait until we get an actual number. But I think it's fair to say we expect them to be more expensive. And there's not, and there are reasons why things may be more expensive. It may be, as you know, tariffs are on their way. Maybe the price of manufacturers increased, and then there's just general inflation. So for all those reasons, we definitely expect the price to be greater than the older models. Okay. Oh, Australia. Okay. What's the Australian currency? Do you use dollars in Australia? So $600 in dollars in Australia. Okay, that's a lot. That's the medium, by the way. Okay. I'm going to skip ahead and not talk about cost for a second because I'm getting scared myself. Okay, 'cause 600 $600 in dollars in Australia. Okay, that's a lot. That's the medium, by the way. Okay. I'm going to skip ahead and not talk about cost for a second because I'm getting scared myself. 600 $600 in dollars in Australia. Okay, Turbo Nerd, my Gen 4 Intuos Pro Large survived an entire arts degree in my backpack. Those things were beasts. Those were beasts. And they're very incredibly rugged with thick plastic. They were thick. So it could totally make sense that they would surprise. They would last and be rugged. Mech it's a proper aspect ratio. Yeah, it is actually a very nice aspect ratio. PTK-x70 is 7.6. Thank you for the data. 4 millimeters. I guess they're getting rid of the alloy backplate. I thought I read somewhere the back was magnesium. Let's see. We'll double check. Koyo. Okay, let's see what Koyo says. Wacom will discontinue this tablet in 2027 due to EU regulations about all batteries needing to be replaceable. Is that's a EU regulation that's in force? I predict they will release a mid-gen lineup with touch support and 16K marketing. That's interesting. I didn't see touch support so far, so let's double check with the specs. I'll go through a few more comments before I get back to the specs. More expensive. I'll stick to Huion. I get the standard one. Yeah, your average Joe, at a certain point it gets ridiculous. Like, their Cintiq Pro 22, which is I love, it's $3,000, and that starts to get into ridiculous territory. Movink, I'm kind of okay with because it's really, new tech. It's super thin, so I can kind of see they can get away with it. But if you get it let's take the large, which is the tablet I would use. If that comes toward a Movink price of $700, $800 versus the Deco Pro Gen 2 XLW, which is $200, you got to ask yourself if it's worth it, right? GN has decent wireless, but occasionally I get lag, which stinks. We'll take a look, Vishal, about the Art Pen in a second. Let's keep scrolling. I hope Huion steals some of Wacom's ideas and adds a touch ring. Feels like they're neglecting it. Hey, since the EMR core technology is kind of, everyone knows how to do it now, it's an easy thing for brands like Huion and Wacom to do things like add buttons. Those are cheap. They don't require advanced new technology. It's just some extra little stuff, right? So yeah, I feel like they could differentiate themselves by doing that. Okay. Arch did make a comment here. Japanese electronics prices are extremely high in general. I wouldn't use it as a gauge for ROW. I'm not sure what that means. But I think what you're trying to say is they may not be a good gauge for other prices. And Mech is, I feel like I'm going to wait until Huion XP are dealing with OLED panel once their patents are accepted. Yeah. By the way, I cannot wait to see how Huion and XP Pen, especially Huion. Huion has not released really new Pro pen tablets in a couple of years. So I hope, maybe I'm expecting that Huion with their PenTech 4.0 will do something in 2025. Okay, we'll see. Okay, let's get back to the specs here. So what do they say? They say, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. 1 second. Sorry, where's my... Let me zoom this in a little bit. Hang on. Okay. 8,000 pressure level, 16 degree of tilt, nothing surprising. Pen resolution, 5080 lines per inch, which is 200 lines per millimeter. Pen type, standard EMR stuff. Pen technology. Whoa. Well, this is a surprise. There's no touch. Don't get me wrong, folks. I don't think the touch on Intuos Pro is great. I don't like using it. I think it's, it's jerky and it's unreliable and I don't like it, but I'm surprised that they've dropped touch. That is a real surprise to me. I don't blame them. But it's a surprise. Okay, they talk about the buttons and the dials. Someone asked about the battery. Yeah, built-in, non-replaceable lithium-ion. They specifically say it's non-replaceable. Charging time, 16 hours. Operation time, I mean. And it can charge in 2 hours. Rapid charging 2 hours, full charge in 3.5 hours. And replacement nibs, that comes with 10 Pro Pen 3 nibs, 5 standard, 3 felt, and 2 rubber in the pen stand. And there's it comes with a stand. We'll take a look at the stand later. And let's take a look at the accessories or the compatibility. Anything interesting here? Bluetooth, USB-C. Looks like they have a USB-C cable, and they're saying for wired connections, a USB-A to USB-C adapter may be required. Unclear if that adapter ships with the tablet. Now, this is what's included. The tablet, the pen, of course, the stand, USB-C to USB-A cable. Okay, 1.8 meters. Okay, the standard Pro Pen 3 accessories. Okay, now we get to the optional accessories, which is where we learn about the pen compatibility. Pro Pen 3. These are talking about the nibs and the grips, so we have to looking for other pens. Oh, look at this. Texture sheets. Wacom texture sheets, small, medium, and these are all standard texture sheets. So I'm not seeing a texture sheet which is smooth or rough. Looks like they just have standard texture sheets. So I'm a fan of the texture sheets because you can like scratch up your tablet and replace the texture sheet. Now, this is interesting because the existence of a texture sheet implies that the tablet really can be even thinner, right? Because the texture sheet is just something on top of another piece of plastic. Okay, let's take a look at what some of these comments here. Okay, touch works good with Rebel only for me. I'll have to try it with Rebel. I've actually never tried touch with Rebel. It's been I only sort of use touch to verify problems or issues, do a little bit of testing. Pretty underwhelming offering. Let me think about that. I can see your point. We're looking at a product which is more expensive, and does anything about it change the game? The question. Sorry, I'm doing a rant now here. Does anything about this product, in your mind, when I say you, I'm talking about everybody, or myself. I'm talking about all of us on this stream. Does anything about this make you go, "Wow, they have reclaimed dominance," or I can see now why they're the market leader? I would say I don't feel especially strong that it says that they're market leader. Probably going to be a fantastic tablet. Intuos Pro is the best pen tablet ever made, and this is going to be almost by definition the next best pen tablet ever made. But I don't feel like they've plotted in your direction here. This feels incremental. I'm not saying anything bad about it, just feels incremental. And that's logical too, because, pen tablets are nearing the edge of like where they can innovate, right? So I'd love to see what everyone else thinks. Wish more pen tablets came with a stand. That would be nice, actually. I know some people have liked drawing that way. I wonder if texture sheets suggest main surface is slightly smoother than the 2017 model, which people have complained about. Yeah, that's a great point. They say it's irregular, but it's not clear how textured it will be compared to the 2017 models, which everyone knows were, nib eaters and very rough texture. The texture did wear down a bit as you used it, but they are notorious about eating nibs. Ouch. Your average Joe. Wacom making it to the C tier list this year. Oh, come on now. That is harsh. look, this is going to be the best pen tablet, okay? Like, it's hard to explain it. I'll give you a little brief aside. On one of the Discords for Project Patchouli, our latest tablet expert, Yuki Dama, is like really investigating what these tablets do. And the more he learns about it, the more you realize Wacom's technology is ahead. Okay, now, of course, you can't always experience why they're ahead. But there's some real things they do very well. Now, to your point, though, it's a little underwhelming, right? And so, it makes you wonder if, in some ways, the Intuos Pro 2017 is maybe just as good as this tablet, right? Like, what has really improved? Also, rubber nibs might suggest this. That's a good point. About the smoothness of the texture. All the competitors are releasing cheaper, sometimes better products. Arch. We need a new strategy. We can price your products premium. It'll attract premium. Yeah, that's. I know you're saying that humorously, but yeah, that sometimes seems like the way Wacom thinks. Mechis, I'm not surprised at all. I'm pretty meh on this after finding out entirely. I might save up for Deco Pro Gen 2 in case of the driver 2017 Intuos Pro. Okay, you raise a fantastic point, which is how long will Intuos Pro 2017 last? Because it's 2025 now, and I don't know. I'm looking at the Discord here, and I'll look at the chat. I feel like Wacom has for tablets a 10-year lifespan in mind in terms of support for the driver, and so 2027, which is not far off, really, would make it 10 years for the Intuos Pro Medium and Large. And it's conceivable that they would actually drop support for this in a couple of years. So I'm not looking forward to that, but it's conceivable. Okay, let me go back to the accessories. I'm not saying all these come with a tablet, but these are the accessories they list. There's several cases for it, which you might need, again, because it's very thin. Okay, now we get to the real meat here, which is the pens. They list a bunch of pens. High Uni 2 Stetler, 2 Lamy pens, Dr. Grip, Third Wave Mitsubishi, Galaxy S22 Ultra S pen. That makes sense. I mean, my Galaxy S24 Ultra S pen works with my MoveInk, right? Kaweco All Sport Connect EMR Black. Okay, now the important one, everyone's wondering. Prior generations, Pro, which I assume that means Pro Pen 2, Classic. I'm not sure what they're referring to exactly with Classic. Art, which is important. Art Pen is the one I think with the, barrel rotation, okay? Airbrush and Grip Pen. That's the KP501, I believe. So it's compatible with a bunch of the older pens, which is fantastic. We need that. We need that to be true. And let me take a look at the comments. Let's see. Okay, Turbo Nerd. I can see Australian pricing. Ooh. Now, I don't know how to interpret these Australian dollar numbers, so you'll have to tell me, Turbo Nerd. Is that much more expensive than the 2017 models? Because, I'm wondering. I'm actually looking. I'm refreshing this site here to see if they're still not on the U.S. site, the store. Okay, let's take a look at anything else we can see here. Let's take a look at the getting started. Can we learn anything here? Oh, I see. So, okay, we were wondering what the buttons do. The one here switches between Bluetooth 1 and 2, and the one to the left of it turns the Bluetooth on and off, it looks like. Okay. And then let's see if there's anything else. Okay, so this is okay. They show this picture of on-screen shortcuts, and I want to talk about this because in one of my previous streams, I talked about the on-screen shortcuts with the Movink, and I said I'd never used on-screen shortcuts with the Movink. Oh, thank you, Tablet Kid. She's got the U.S. prices, so I'll show that in a second. And I said that the on-screen shortcuts worked great with touch because you didn't have to go reach for keyboard or some other device. However, if they've dropped touch, the value of on-screen shortcuts for me diminishes, right? Because I don't really like using on-screen menus with a pen, but I do like them with touch. So I don't know. Maybe that's because there's a screen though. So maybe my point is not valid. Okay, sorry, I'm just ranting now. Okay. Now here's the American pricing from Tablet Kitten. Let me see if I'll write it in chat, okay? Since I'm having trouble pasting. So I'll round them a little bit, okay? So this is from small, medium, and large. And I'll put dollar signs everyone. 275, 377, 502, $275, $377, and $502. So that is a little crazy. Wow. I really don't know what to think about those prices, I have to tell you. Thank you for that clarification, Tablet Puppy. And they're converted from the Australian. I would feel a bit weird, honestly, if the large was $500. That's $1,000. That seems to me a crazy premium to charge. Just a crazy premium. What is the current large? Like $400? Or maybe I have that wrong, but I think it's just $400. Okay, let's just take a look at some of the comments here. Turbo Nerd, that's a 22-inch screen tablet from some competitors. Yeah, that's correct. That would be about that price. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I skipped a bunch of tablets. Or comments, I mean. Okay, your average Joe. I like what the HS611 does. Media keys are convenient while listening to music, but it's rather a niche add-on. I feel exactly the same way. When I first got that tablet, I just thought, these are useless controls. But actually, it really is very useful. I'm a big fan of the slider that controls the volume. I know it seems crazy that I never thought I'd like it, but having those media controls on a tablet was actually very helpful. Oh, one more thing I wanted to say about the compatible pens, which is this. Okay, so I don't have the tablets in front of me, so I'll just try to explain it this way. On the Movink, if you draw with the Pro Pen 2, the stroke looks fine. It just looks like an Intuos Pro stroke. But my experience with the Movink with the other pens, the consumer pens, like the S Pen or the Wacom One Pen, the strokes have this weird pulsing feature. Now, that could have been a driver thing, but the thing I'd say that is, I'll test it out, but we should be always a little careful about the idea of using these consumer pens because, yeah, they're much cheaper, but I have a feeling Wacom doesn't let them produce as good strokes as the professional pens deliberately. And I think they do that because they don't want you buying just cheap consumer pens. So it's maybe good in a backup case, but so I'll do some testing when I get this tablet. And that's why I wanted, that's the reason I brought that up is I wanted to respond to this comment. Hopefully they didn't add anything like the CTC. That's the new Wacom One Pen tablets. Horrid processing on this tablet. I hope so too. Okay, we got prices. We got prices. Let me double check. It looks like we may have prices now in the American store. Let me see if I can refresh here. Let me go back here and refresh and see if I can. Yes, I'll accept all the darn cookies. Where do I click on buying the tablet? Shop now. Okay, let's just do it. I'm still not seeing it. Okay, but I'll just read out what I'm seeing on this. Those are the old prices, right? Oh, I tricked myself. I thought those were the new prices. So, okay, I guess what I'm thinking, I didn't realize the Intuos Pro Large today is $500. I think I was thinking $400 because I bought it on discount for $400, probably on a sale on Amazon. So, okay, it's always been $500. Okay, so maybe it won't be that bad. Don't get me wrong, I don't think she costs $500. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, thanks for clarifying that tablet. I got so excited when I saw the prices. I thought, wow, we made it. We have it. Philip DS, yeah, 16:9 aspect ratio. Hey, it only took them 40 years. 40 years. I did a study of every I literally wrote down the numbers for every Wacom pen tablet ever made. I couldn't find any of them that were 16:9 or not even close. They were off by always significantly off. They were always close to 16:10. So this is remarkable. Let's see, any other questions here? Your average Joe had an interesting comment. I use touch only on a Surface Pro and S9 FE, good tablets, for touch. I think it's kind of cool, but once I got used to my TourBox, the touch became kind of useless. Yeah. Look, I really need to do a video on the TourBox because it is, I think Ryan likes it. He's used several versions of it. And I think it's a great tablet. I'm sorry, it's a great device. One you have to spend time learning, but it was worth the investment for me. Turbo Nerd, you can regularly get Deco Pro 2 tablets on sale. I don't see the point in getting a Wacom other than wanting Pro Pin 3 support and thin. I'm there with you. Look, don't get me wrong. The Wacom Intuos Pro tablets, I'll just keep on saying this forever, are the best, technically speaking, and they are the best pen tablets ever made. These new ones aren't going to be better for the drawing experience. I don't care what chips they added. I don't see how they can possibly be better. I'll be happy to be wrong about that. But the Deco Pro Gen 2 is pretty good, right? And I believe Huion will add PenTech 4.0 to a large tablet this year, I hope. And with that, those tablets are going to cost $200. And you won't need to get a Wacom, one of these Intuos Pros. What is the size of the footprint compared to previous models? I think they're a little smaller, Ink Blaster, just because of I think they have smaller bezels and a smaller space for buttons. So I think they take up less space, which is good. Might have to clear cookies. I'll try that in a second to clear the cookies, Turbo Nerd. Let's see. Always love the surprise I'm going to get whenever I read an Arch comment. Wacom's Goon Squad gauged consumer response by lurking the 7's Pens live stream, currently updating U.S. pricing in a panic. I wish that was true. More likely, they're probably very angry at me, I think, Arch, because I think, as far as I know, at least very publicly, I'm one of the few people who mentioned that these Intuos Pro models are coming. And I'm sure they did not like that. And by the way, I just want to remind everybody, it has been 2 years since Wacom said they would ship an update to let the Pro Pen 3 work with older tablets like the Intuos Pro. And I have pinged them on Twitter multiple times, and they always ignore me. They still have not delivered that update. I had to downsize my tablet area because of the width of my desk. Yeah, it happens. It happens. As you get a larger tablet, they just take up a lot of space. They haven't updated their social media yet, so I bet we'll have prices and more info tomorrow morning. Okay, JL, thank you for that. And let me now just talk a little bit about this what they do here, which is just, it's crazy. Okay, now I mention this every video, but I think it just adds a little bit of extra context when I say these things. So many of you know I worked at Microsoft for 28 years, right? I worked on lots of different tablets, lots of different products, and I had many releases, meaning my team we shipped many products, sometimes on CDs actually, and sometimes, on internet launch. We did it many, 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 many times. And the one thing we always did was make sure there was a global launch, okay? And that everybody was prepared to support the launch. And what that means is social media is ready. What that means is, meaning Twitter, YouTube, we have press releases, videos are ready to go. And it's all happening at the same time because, our general thinking is you don't want someone to be surprised or be confused when they see it's launched here but not here, one country but not the other country. For some reason, and this is not just Wacom, other tablet brands do this, they launch in some regions first, and then a month later or sometime later, then they launch in the US. I can never really understand that. I mean, I understand why you might prioritize the country you're in. It totally makes sense. But the US market is really big. And so the fact that they sort of there's this delay and the prices aren't there and the materials aren't there is just very strange. That's, my background for Microsoft. What happens if you drop Pro Pen 3 on the ground with that weight's inside? Well, I have dropped the Pro Pen 3 and it survived, though in general I would never recommend doing it because, those pens are easy to break. All pens are easy to break, these EMR pens. If you care about things like line quality, stick with Wacom. If you only need pretty good pressure or for painting and sculpting, then Deco would be totally okay. Philip, I 100% agree with you, right? The real thing Wacom, I think, again, there's lots of technical ways in which they're good, which are not obvious to a human. They're not obvious to me. It's only because we have people like Yuki Dama who really are investigating the hardware that I'm starting to pick up on how they're different. But even me, and I've used tablets since 1995, it's hard to pick up the differences. The largest difference one might even notice is Wacom Pro Pens have relatively high maximum pressure, industry leading, I would say, easily, and industry leading initial activation force. Once Huion and XP Pen can consistently do that, I think we're there, right? I think we'll struggle to find differences. The new design leaves much to be desired. Why put the dials and express keys at the top where your second hand will be on the way of drawing? Yeah, Serg, I'm there with you. I find it awkward to move up in that direction. So let me give you an example. I'm gonna bring a tablet and I'll just show you what the issue is for me. Okay, so give me 1 second. Let me clear my desk and I'll be back in just 1 second. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Now you can see my face. And I bought the Intuos Pro Large with me. Okay, this is a very big tablet. It's a large tablet. Actually, the Deco Pro XLW is actually larger than this, and so is the Huion Jiano G930L. But the reason I don't like buttons on top for me, and this is the size of tablet I use. Okay, and just to give you a comparison, I've got the Pro Pen. Well, I've got the XP Pen X3 Pro, which is about as big as the Pro Pen. See the difference in size, right? I find moving my hand up here is, I know it seems like, my hand is not super large or anything, but you might think that this feels like a trivial movement, right? But, I have to move a little bit of my arm to get up here. And it interferes with my drawing. It just interferes with my drawing to do this, right? So I'm not a fan of it. And in every tablet where there's top buttons, I somehow just don't end up touching that region. So for me, it's weird. And again, the reason I don't like side buttons is I accidentally press the side buttons. So, but I know for some people these are critical, right? I totally understand that. I was always hoping, this goes back to our envisioning stream we had, I think 2 months ago. I really think Wacom should introduce, they have their Express Keys remote. I would have loved to see Wacom introduce an accessory, which is like the toolbox for this, right? And I thought that would have been a really cool, for the new Intuos Pro models, I thought that would have been really cool, right? Where we could have had a lot of, have all the buttons. Somebody even suggested, hey, maybe the Express Keys thing could plug in, so you didn't have to have the buttons if you didn't want to. I thought it was a very interesting idea. But yeah, I don't like the buttons at the top. And I'm trying to find a picture of what the buttons actually do. So give me a second, and we'll take a look here. Let's go back to the, where is it? There we go. Okay. Let's take a look at the getting started again. I want to talk about those little buttons there. Here, maybe this is where we can get some detail on here. Okay, so you see the buttons, right? And again, the smaller one only has one pair. It doesn't have 2 pairs of these. So it looks like, here's the default configuration, which is the ring has 4 buttons, and actually it's actually 5 buttons, which is not totally clear from the pictures. So you can press the 4 on the ring or press in the middle, okay? So they have the buttons set to, it looks like toggle what the dial does, the thing that rotates on the right. The middle button is display toggle. Okay, that's decent. The left button on the ring is radial menu, settings on the bottom, and change settings on the right. Okay, so these are kind of utility buttons, right? They don't affect drawing in any way. And then I'm not sure what the dial is set to. I assume by default it's set to change the size of something. On the right, they have the button set to up, down, left, and right. And the middle toggles what the dial does. So reasonable. I mean, you can reconfigure these too, right? I'm sure you can map these to any button, just like they've always been doing for their tablets. Let's see the comments. Yuravich, once Huion XP Pen have customizable pens and accessories, we'll truly see something special. I agree. I'm waiting for them to really, innovate. And look, I think the Toolbox has taught me that you can do something which is an accessory to the tablet, which makes the tablet much more useful. So I think they should try it. Okay, Ink Blaster. I think the new design is bad. I don't like the control dials on the top of the tablet because I put my keyboard on top. Yeah, I do that sometimes too. And I'm glad you reminded me that I do that with the large, Because it's so large, I put my keyboard right on top of it. Now I won't be able to. So this is actually going to be a problem for me. Oh, but the good news is I switched to the TourBox, so it's less of a problem than it was, a couple of years ago. Let's see what Art says. I genuinely think they're just gauging consumer response by launching in not so important markets first before launching in the huge, really expensive, really competitive markets like the US, EU. That makes sense. That makes sense. The reason I'm slightly skeptical, Arch, is since I saw their Cintiq Pro launch and their Wacom One launch, I didn't see them actually change anything. They just delayed things, right? Like they just had all their Japanese content available first, and then a month later they had the English content. I didn't see them change any messaging. They just seemed to have the same exact stuff. Let's see, even weirder than holding it back entirely for the US is that everything else is posted except the store product pages. Yeah, that's a great point. It's a weird inconsistency because, of course, really the first question you're going to ask is how much does it cost, right? And the link doesn't go anywhere. I'll check it again, actually, right now. Let's go back to Wacom and see what happens. Do they even list it up here? They still don't have the update. No, they just don't have it. Yeah. So strange they haven't done this. Let me go back to the Wacom site because that's the store. Products. They have it listed here. We'll click Learn More and Shop Now. I'm pretty sure I clicked Shop Now. I'm not sure why it didn't. Let me try that again here. Shop Now. Yeah, the Shop Now just doesn't go to the store at all. Or it does go to the store, but it doesn't get me to where I think I would go to. Maybe if I scroll down, I can see it. Man, I'm scrolling. Now they don't, they don't even have it listed below on this page. Let's try this. There's nothing for me to click. They don't have the site correctly set up. It's not deployed correctly or something. Though see, Titus says the full store page is up if you change your region to UK. Got it. I'll do that in a second. Ryan, you dropped your Pro Pen 3? Yeah, every time. Listen, I drop my pens a lot. I'm not gonna lie. And every time I pick them up off the floor, I'm just like, I'm always yelling at people not to drop their pens, and yet here I do it almost every day. Okay, hopefully it's working, Ryan. Honestly, the new Wacom looks exactly what I imagine updated SenseLabs tablet to be. Interesting, JL. I hadn't thought about that. But you bring up in my mind an interesting question, which is the broad question for SenseLabs and from Huion and from XP Pen. How will they respond to this? Right? Half of my mind says they'll just continue on their current course because this tablet doesn't really change much. I mean, compared to the... if I was being really uncharitable, okay, I'm going to bring up this tablet again here. And you can see it's got these buttons here. All they did was merge these four into a ring and merge these four into a ring. Did I really get a big change in the tablet? I don't feel like I did. And by the way, I don't even like using the Pro Pen 3. I like the Pro Pen 2. Turbo Nerd, I love my XLW. I do too. I do too. Bad design. They should unrelease it and give support for Pro Pen 30 to older tablets. You know what? I think, I suspect, I'm just fantasizing now. I'm just like, making up scenarios in my head. I suppose that they probably thought about this. They thought about the Intuos Pro and the new models coming out in a few years. And they just decided to hold off deliberately Pro Pen 3 support because they want people to buy the new tablets. And that's just, they're never going to add this. They're never going to add support for it. I can't blame them for that, but then they shouldn't have told us they were going to do it. They're already quite big, so you have to reach in to draw already. You're now hunching, trying to access shortcuts of all things. Yeah, hunching. Good for your posture. Makes worse for your posture edition. That's a good one, Philip. Yeah, Arch, I would agree with you on this. I feel like just keep it the side is just a little ergonomically easier. And so what I always hoped was, sorry, I'm gonna put myself on full screen again so you can see the demonstration. The problem with the current layout is the USB port is here. Sorry, you can't see it. The USB port is here, and the buttons are here, obviously. And so if you want to rotate it, like some people want the buttons on some people want the buttons on this side, but the port's here. Someone suggested, and I thought it was a good idea, that they should have the USB port on both sides. That way, you don't have to do any weird cable weirdness. And I thought that would have helped address some of the awkwardness of having the buttons on the side. Let's see. Vishal says, I use the touchscreen to watch YouTube videos frame by frame. Wow. I have to try it. I am not a touch ring user at all. And I think Ryan is skeptical about the movement to the top. But, I have to try it out. I don't want to, rant about the top placement without trying it out first. Maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe this is the tablet that's going to convince me top placement works well. It kind of looks like a weight scale. It does kind of look like a weight scale. You're right. Biggest plot twist is that they redesigned that to be just a detachable Wacom tour box. I would have loved that. I would have loved that idea. A Wacom tour box. Tablet Puppy says, Chinese tablet manufacturers launch in China before every other country. I get it. Look, this is my bias. Okay, this is just my bias. I just think you should do global launches because it causes less confusion. That's it. And it's just my perspective. It's easier. And when I mean global launch, we get everything localized in every region, and we just get everything ready. And yes, it causes more work, but we just do that process. Oh, ROW means release to world. Okay, that makes sense. Release to world. I was wondering what it meant. Turbo Nerd. This is what Turbo Nerd is saying here. Is really captures the spirit of what I'm saying. I totally understand doing a soft launch, and I've done many soft launches as well. But this is a flagship product. This isn't like we're testing the waters with a new kind of tablet. Like a soft launch of a Wacom One, yeah, totally, I could get that. Or a soft launch of a new kind of tablet, sure. Or an accessory. But this is the big deal. This is probably one of the most popular tablets. Certainly the one people love the most, the Intuos Pro line, in terms of its performance. It is a flagship. They say it's a flagship. right? And I just find it odd. Again, this is my bias. I'm speaking like someone who's just very adapted to the Microsoft way of thinking, and maybe in a modern market where things are moving more fluidly, I'm a dinosaur. Okay, so I'll take that criticism as well. Yeah, the divide buttons, left and right hand. Yeah, that makes sense. Your average Joe. Okay, it looks like Ryan's pen is totally okay. Yeah, I totally get the stress of that. It happens every couple of days for me. The design language does read more like bamboo tablets. Oh, that is a good point. I'm thinking about your comment here, and for some reason I agree with it. And how we react to something is always very weird. Something about all those buttons at the top does, for me, I'm trying to pick my words very carefully. It does feel like it damages the premium look of it and the elegance of it. Okay, something about it feels off. Not bad, I'm not criticizing it. It just, I find the Intuos Pro, the 2017 models, to be elegant, and this kind of removed some of the elegance, right? So I take that comment well, Turbo Nerd. It is a little bit of it seems a little more consumer. Though I'm trying to figure out why I feel that way. JL, I feel like this pen tablet launches in a weird spot, especially since other companies are close. For hobbyists, there's XP Pen and Huion, but most pros either use displays or got the 2017 version. Yeah, and I don't think anyone's eager to switch and buy another Pro tablet that's $500 or $400 or whatever. I think it's a hard sell. I think people will want to use their Intuos Pros for a while. Intuos 4 had ports on both sides. Did it? I didn't know that. Are you sure about that, Ryan? I know the XL did not, because the cord was not detachable. I'll have to take a look at some of the other Intuos 4s though. Going to be interesting to see how it sets itself apart. Absolutely. Hey, and you know what? Theoretically, when you release a product, you send to reviewers like a reviewer guide, okay? And I participated in writing these reviewer guides, and what it says is, "Hey, Joe Blow reviewer, here's what we are trying to do with this product, and here are the key this is generic. It'll be varying for different products. Here are the key abilities, features of this product, and here's why we think it offers compelling value." And sorry, I'm talking like a marketing person, okay? And then theoretically, that influences the reviewer. It's not meant for the reviewer to copy and paste. It's meant for the reviewer to understand your story and help communicate the story, though some people do actually copy and paste. But of course, I'm really curious what the reviewers say about this tablet. Now remember, I don't consider myself a reviewer. I'm just a guy who buys tablets and talks about them. But theoretically, other reviewers have been at least told, like, hey, here's what this tablet's about. Here's what we think is important to stress. So I'm really looking forward to what, Brad Cobo will say about this tablet and Tio on Tech and how they respond to it, right? I'm really curious because my mind right now is going between cool and meh, right? My mind's going between these two things. Will I get this tablet? Absolutely. I'm not sure I'm not feeling like I'm going to get this tablet and my world is going to be changed, right? I'd love for that to be wrong. I'd love for this tablet to feel like it's this amazing transformative experience. I just don't think it's going to be. Oh, you meant the buttons. Yes, I understand what you're saying, Ryan. Thank you. Wacom and Arnie voice. I really need to do a best of Arch comments because I think I could do an entire stream on that topic alone. In Arnie voice, I'm not going to try the Arnie voice. I'm not good at doing it. I'm a tough guy. I'm a stud. I can release when I want. I don't need to release globally like you. But Arch, you have to just imagine Wacom smoking a cigar and blowing the smoke at someone's face when they're saying that to somebody. That would be a true Arnie moment. Let's see. Good to see you. All I really wanted was Intuos Pro XL, but from the specs, these are small. Yeah, they're absolutely smaller. Listen, folks, we are never, ever going to see an Intuos Pro XL. Never. I'm surprised we got the Intuos Pro XL for as long as we did. I think that'll never happen. And I think I was a little sad about that idea, that realization I had. However, here's how I rationalized it to myself. Intuos Pro XL, if they released a new one, it would cost like, I don't know, $800, okay? And really, at that point, you might as well just get a pen display, like a Cintiq Pro 22, and just turn off the display, and just use it like a pen tablet. So that's how I reconcile myself. When I want to draw that big, I would do that. Not that I'm recommending it, and I don't think it's worth the money to do that, but it's got to be a vanishingly small set of people who are interested in drawing in such a large size. And I'm a huge fan of the Intuos 4 XL, by the way. Oh, look at this, Philip. The new Pro Medium is going to weigh just 9 grams less than the Move Ink, and it has no screen. Isn't that amazing? So what does that tell us? That screen is 9 grams. If the screen is 9 grams, why are other this is the question I always wonder about pen displays. Why are they so thick? Right? Why aren't they super thin? Titus. The design looks kind of a bit more industrial to me than elegant, like the generation before the 2017 Pros. Yeah, I can see why you say that. Something about it doesn't look as elegant. Absolutely, I would agree with that. It's got to be tough to design something that has buttons, right? Right? For a while there, I was like I was researching how to buy a car. And as you know, car manufacturers, for lots of reasons, hate buttons now. They want everything to be touchscreen, right? Because it's cheaper and it's prettier, except you get fingerprints. But it does make this all-glass interiors make cars beautiful. And so it's got to be tough to have physical buttons that just interfere with the flow of the surface, right? And to still make it seem premium and elegant and slick. Product reviewers and critics, better known as product marketers. Now that's unfair, Arch. That's unfair. I mean, I think you can see, there's an interplay between the marketing team, of course, that has a message to get out, and people who review the products. I would say, for example, both, the two top reviewers are Brad and Tio on Tech, okay? And I watch all their videos. And I would say this about them. There have been videos where they're extremely critical of the tablets that they've been given to review, right? And so I think they're able to do a great job of balancing, understanding the message they're given and still being fair, right? And I can point to specific examples, but I think they do a good job of that. Non-Pro Intuos is very popular with beginners and professionals alike. So they really got to bring something to the tablet worth upgrading for. Absolutely, your average Joe. Look, for beginner people who are wanting to use tablets who are beginners, I always recommend the Wacom one by Wacom Medium CTL-672. Doesn't have tilt, but it's an excellent tablet. And the Pro line is better, obviously, But I think they could be bringing more. I agree with that sentiment. Wacom seems to prefer going thin now, so I think maybe between this and the moving, the goal is mobility. Personally, I'm much more comfortable bringing a tablet with me on the go than a display. Same here. I don't trust myself bringing any of my pen displays around anywhere. I'll carry my iPad, but my iPad has a specific cover, and I'm always transporting it in a satchel, so it's protected, right? I would never carry around even my 13-inch or 16-inch pen display. I would never bring them around. I would, it's too much of a hassle to protect them, in my opinion. Let's see. Intuos Pro drafting table. Well, actually, Arch, they did something like that. I forgot the exact number. They made a. It's really hard to describe. In fact, I'm going to have to put my full camera on here. They made a tablet which is actually a drafting table, and I'm going to try to demonstrate how big it is. So I'm 6 feet tall. Okay, so I think this width should be 6 feet. It's like this big. Okay. Think about like 4 Intuos 4 XLs. It is huge. Oh, sorry, you can't hear me. It's like 4 Intuos 4 XLs put together. And it is in the shape of a drafting table. I'll see if I can find a picture of it. Give me a second. What was it? The Wacom. Was it SD031 or something? I forgot that. It was this crazy large tablet. And someone actually found someone selling it in Japan. And we tried to purchase it, but couldn't figure out how to ship it to the United States. And maybe that plan will come through. Actually, give me a second. I know we have this somewhere. I'm going to see if I can find a picture of this darn thing. Give me 1 second. This was a thing we tried doing back in 2023. I just got to find a picture of this for you. I can't find a picture, but okay, I'll maybe sometime later. But it was huge, and so Wacom actually made it. But again, the market for something like that is zero these days. Okay, only OLED can be that thin. Okay, Koya, let me just ask you. Let me push on that for a second. The Samsung Galaxy S9 series, they're pretty thin, and before then, some of them used OLED. Sorry, the S9, like the Ultra, uses OLED, but the S9 FE uses IPS panel. It's not that thick. So what is keeping pen displays thick? Right? The Move Ink is thin, OLED. But like the S9 is thin. And like, if someone pointed out that the difference is just very small between the two, what is keeping pen displays thick? Tablets need more. I think you need bezels, Vishal. That's one of the most controversial topics in my streams. We have a huge contingent of people who want really big bezels, and some people want really thin bezels. I'm sort of in the middle, right? But definitely some people are very passionate about very wide bezels. Arch, I hate touchscreens in vehicle interiors so much. Errors in high stress situations are about 20% higher versus buttons, especially in their vibrations. I hate them too. I can't stand them. It's, it just like the, sorry, let me back up. The TourBox. The TourBox is valuable for me because I can use it without, let me put my face back on here. Let me go back to the TourBox. It's valuable for me because I can use it without looking. And how can I use it without looking? My hand is just in one place. I can feel everything and still look right at my canvas. When things are touch sensitive, you take your eyes off and you have to hunt, and you're not sure, you can accidentally click and you're not sure what you clicked on. So I 100%, for that same reason that I talk about the TourBox and why it's a value for me, that's why I think I hate, just like you're saying here, I hate touchscreens in car interiors. They're awful. 2025 large model is a smaller active area. The older one is 1.46 inch more narrow. So it's actually a larger active area Titus for the large model, which is good, right? Which is good. We generally want a larger one. ZY VPN, bruh, they think most artists touch grass enough to move around with a freaking screenless tablet. I guess they don't. Is your point? Okay. Aaron Rutten gives it another. Come on. Aaron Rutten gives it another 1,000 out of 10. Never buy anything else but Wacom. Hey, I can understand his position. Okay, I can. Had he changed his position, by the way? I mean, I feel like he was kind of okay with third-party, non-Wacom tablets. Then he changed his mind. I'm not sure where he's at right now. In fact, is he still making tablet videos? I haven't heard much from him lately. Ink Blaster, do they have barrel rotation? So the answer to your question is, it's actually, the new pen does not have barrel rotation, but you can use the older art pen with it that does have barrel rotation. So it does, actually, let me just back that up. They don't explicitly say they support barrel rotation, but because they say you can use the old art pen, I believe they probably continue to support the barrel rotation of that pen. That's a great question, and when I get the tablet, I will actually test it. Okay, IQ, Ryan, my mistake with Intuos 4, USB ports were top and bottom of the same side. Okay, I understand. Makes sense. Endoyman, is moving 13 an upgrade to Cintiq 16? Just a curious question. I wouldn't say that. I would not say that. Moving and a Cintiq, well, this is complicated. It's not 100% an upgrade. It's a different kind of tablet. If you want a better screen, it's a better screen. That's an upgrade. If you want portability, it's definitely an upgrade. But if what's important to you is the size, then the Cintiq is better. The Cintiq 16 is better. But if you if you forget the size, in all other ways, the Moving is, I would say, an upgrade. That's fair. But they don't position it like an upgrade. They talk about the Moving as just a different category, which is about, I forgot what they called it, like high enthusiasts. They literally had the phrase, high enthusiasts, what we might call prosumers, who want to be really portable. That was what their scenario was. On the bright side, it seems like the Pro's 27 would be at or below 300 for the foreseeable future. Yeah, look, one of the benefits of having these new tablets around, and I'm so glad you brought this up, JL, there's a huge swath of humanity who has a product that whenever the new version comes out, they have to get the new version and they just dump their old tablet. Okay? And what I expect you, and by the way, on eBay, you should expect to see that when this tablet comes out over the next few months, lots of people are upgrading and they are selling their old Intuos Pro tablets for 2017 models on eBay. And I'll tell you, you can get some amazing deals on eBay. And if you can get one of these texture sheets, it's even better because even the tablet is scratched up, you can just replace it with a texture sheet, okay? I think someone on one of the Discords I'm on found like an Intuos Pro large for like $50, right? Instead of $400, they found it for $50, which is a pretty good price for an Intuos Pro large. I bought a lot of tablets on eBay, and so I expect you're going to see that happen. A lot of them are going to be on sale or used on eBay, and you'll get some really good deals. The only catch is driver problems because Wacom will eventually drop support for tablet drivers for those models. But then you can always use Open Tablet Driver if you're willing to put in a little more work. Let's see. They don't add new pen with rotation, but list our pen as compatible. Yeah, exactly. Let's hope Mihao, let's just hope that they do support barrel rotation, not just the position of the pen. I believe they will. I don't think they're going to drop it. Cars and airplanes develop fancy heads-up displays to be able to maneuver and read data at the same time. Proceeded to immediately put all data into monitors like inside the cabin. Is that true? And so let me make sure I understand the question. Cars and airplanes develop fancy heads-up displays. Yeah. Aaron Ruthie made a video about Tourbox. Oh, I'll have to check that out. Thank you for bringing that up, Nizio. Aaron's in Seattle, by the way, which is where I'm at. And I've always had this idea that I might run into him in Seattle just accidentally, and we'd have such a fantastic afternoon talking about tablets. Meanwhile, Art Pen being worth $300. Oh God, yeah. They're getting expensive, these old Art Pens. They need to bring it back. They need to bring back the Art Pen. See, I want more pen tablets to do what XP Pen and Huion did last year. The curve where your hand rests is very nice. That is a very nice feature. Decent thickness. The previous tablets were too thin, in my opinion. Yeah, you raise an interesting point. Like I remember I used the Huion RTP-700, which was one of Huion's really thin ones, and it was a round edge, but it didn't feel elegant. Like it felt like there was irritating on my palm, right? And even the one by Wacom is a little bit that way. So having a little bit of softer curve on the edges is a nice ergonomic feature. Wacom. Okay, let's take a look. Give me 1 second, and I'm gonna. Oops, I'll get to YouTube in a second. Let me just configure everything. Okay. And I've got a million windows open, so I'm going to just close them off too. And let me relaunch Chrome. Hey, 1 second. This is on Wacom's main channel. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, let's see if I can show you this correctly here. Streamer screen. I don't think you can hear what it says, but at least let's see if you can find it. Videos. Let's take a look here. 2 hours ago. Okay. Testimony. I'm just looking at the titles of things here. It just feels good. It's meant for work. I'm just reading out the titles, the little quotes they have. Okay, so basically there's 4 days ago, then 2 hours ago. Let me see if I can get the audio working for this. I don't know if I can, so we'll see. I'm going to just click on one of these, and it's not going to... I don't know if it's going to work, the audio. No, it doesn't look like I've got the audio correctly set up for recording it. I'll give it one try. There's I'm still used to how Ecamm does things. Let's see. Recording output. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have the audio set up to show how this works. Give me 1 more second. I'll see if I can get this going here. I would like to play one of these videos for you. Audio. I am not sure why it doesn't do that. I'm not sure. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, but there are. Thank you for bringing that up. There are a lot of videos on here. Oh, look. But these still look to be kind of marketing videos a little bit. Let me start playing this thing. I'll go back to face here. Okay, let's get back to the comments. But thank you, Turbo Nerd, for at least telling us that the videos are up there. And let's see. Koyo says, I feel sorry for anyone who upgrades from 2017 to 25 for disappointment. I think this is a case where you have to manage your expectations. I don't see anything offhand that is, again, transformative. There's nothing in this that it's going to dramatically make me more efficient or make anyone more efficient. There's not some really big change in usability. If I had to be really honest, I would say if you have a 2017 model, you should ride that thing until it breaks. You should absolutely just not give up on it. It should be, its last legs before you consider upgrading. On the other hand, if there's some problem and you're dissatisfied with it, or it's going to be your first Pro tablet, then nothing wrong getting this one. But use the 2017 models as long as they last. There's no reason to upgrade. Let's see, taking a look. Somehow we always end up on this stream back into talking about the F-35. It never fails that the F-35 gets brought up in this stream. And I don't mind, by the way. I have to tell you, while I am really interested in tablets, my hobby is learning. Well, look, I don't fly, either as a passenger or as a pilot, but I love learning about aviation, military and commercial and civil and all that stuff. So I'm always watching channels about, what do you call it? Like how jet engines work and different military aircraft and FAA things and airplane disaster. That's a really interesting topic for me. So I don't mind if F-35s get brought up in this stream. Flappy Bird, I'm not sure the context of that comment. Who are you and why are you in my feed? Let's see. Mihao, the USB cable is not L-shaped? It's not? I didn't see that. Let me take a look at that in the Wacom site. Not a big deal for me, but it's unusual for Wacom. Usually they're very good about getting those cables to be... They've been L-shaped for a while. I'm trying to see if we can see the cables anywhere. I don't see it, though. Maybe the getting started will reveal it. Here, I'll show you what I'm seeing. Connect. Let's see it. Connect. I mean, it looks like it's an L shape, right? I know you can't hear what's going on, but I'll just play it so we can see the unboxing. Okay. So they've gone with these boring packages to be environmental, which is good, but these are very boring boxes. I don't like them. There's just music playing. There's no audio. It's just background music they have going on. That's the small one. Little shiny surface there. I wonder if that could I infer that it's a little bit less rough? Hey, you're right, I think. That does not look like an L-shaped cable, Michal. Oh, look at that stand. Oh, it's not L-shaped. You're right. Looks like some. Look at this. Oh, hang on. I gotta pause this. Okay. Shoot. Hang on. Let me go back here. Okay. This is now. This is just me being me. You see the texture here? It's got these little speckles. This is all deliberate. I am really not a fan of the speckled texture business. Like you'll see this on cameras. Not a fan of it. It just, to me, it looks dirty. It looks like there's something, an imperfection rather than deliberate. I understand it is deliberate, but it's just weird for me. Okay, they're just pointing at the Bluetooth. Okay, let's see. Yeah, you plug it in and you get this message. Driver downloads. Oh, by the way, I'll do a video later this week. Not a stream, just a video. Wacom, I checked in with the latest on their ARM driver, and they said in February they would have an ARM driver for Windows. So that should be available very soon. And I'm very excited about that. Now, this isn't too interesting. It's just installing the driver. Yeah, nothing too interesting. Let's see if there's another video that might be interesting to see here. Turbo Nerd, they're doing a lot of experience marketing here, lol. Take a lot of pages from Apple's playbook. I think the pros are more interested in specs, Wacom. Yeah, and unfortunately, they haven't really changed the specs. And that's one of the difficulties, Turbo Nerd. Testimonial in the same way you get confessions out of Torah. Arch, you win the award for best stream comments. They made it look like it's for DJs in the end of that trailer. The iPadification of Wacom Intuos. You guys are killing me. I love it. I love it. Yeah, they got rid of the eraser in the Pro Pen 3 back in the end of 2022, your average show. Look, I'm not an eraser user, but many people are upset about it. To be honest, I was hoping they would reintroduce erasers with this launch of the Intuos Pro because of the feedback they received. But it seems like they are committed to taking away the eraser. It's Z-shaped. Maximum bends for maximum chance to fail, so you need to buy a new cable. I saw the straight cable on the video showed. Yep. Oh, I didn't see that, Turbo Nerd. Was it already on? Was that maybe just the Bluetooth? That was what was going on? Yeah, they do look. You're right. The buttons look silly on the small model. Something about it looks very strange. The vulcanized, bubbly rubber stuff looks cheap for a super high-end price point product. Are you talking about the top part? I'm not sure if that's rubber or not. Right? It wasn't clear to me if it was rubber or something else. But yeah, I just like visuals. It looked dirty to me. It doesn't look. There's no reason for it to have that texture. With a phone, I understand why they have the textured surface. Like you want some grip. Like these sit on your desk. You're not going to. They're not. You don't need to hold them and have something textured there. Sanding down those nibs would cause the screw to be very different from what you expect. Philip, in theory, I see what you're saying. However, I wonder if they adjust for that a little bit because they do know, how can I say, the geometry of where the inductor coil is on the pen. So I think they probably adjust for that a little bit, or at least I would think they can do that. I think they can compensate. So even if the nib wears down. Turbo Nerd, you can hot swap between two Bluetooth devices, which is stealing XP Pen's homework a little bit. Does XP Pen support that? I wasn't aware of that because I rarely use Bluetooth. But if it is Turbo Nerd, can you just confirm that XP Pen tablets support it, or at least which ones support it? Are those the rubber coating that melts after a while? I don't think it's going to do that. I don't think it's going to do that. Waiting for 2 by Wacom. Hey, it can happen one day. And by the way, look, I think we should all breathe a sigh of relief that what they didn't announce was, and please understand everyone, I'm making a joke here. I'm making a joke. I think we should all be happy that Wacom did not announce something like Wacom Intuos Pro 2025, now with embedded AI to unlock the best strokes in your pen, or Wacom Intuos Pro 2025, now pay us $5 a month to unlock 16K pressure levels. So that's good. That's good. We didn't get any AI messaging. We didn't get any subscription messaging. And I think we should be very happy about that. Because one day, they were probably tempted to just say something about either one of those topics. The small reminds me of the Bamboo Fun, the one that had the mouse accessory. Okay, yeah. They ain't solving that EMR parallax to the nib tip like EVR. I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, like ever. You mean like ever. I thought you were saying there was another technology called EVR. PTK-x70 turns out to be Wacom Peak Design, an older model, better than the new one. Once again, well, Meow, I'm on your side on this one. I've had every Wacom professional tablet that exists, and I don't mean I just bought them to use. Since the 90s, I bought every one continuously and had many years of usage of each one. And I truly feel the Intuos Pro, the X860 series, which is the 2017 models, I could see them as a user getting just more refined and involved and perfect, right? Like there was no room for them to change because they were just perfect, like a shark or something, right? Like just totally optimized for what they did. So this just changed it up for me. I think it looks weirder. I'm sure the performance is good, but just it looks weirder. It looks less elegant. I'm not saying it's a bad tablet, but yeah, I'd agree with Mihaw's comment. The previous version are the peak design. Turbo Nerd, the Deco Pro Gen 2 can support linking two devices. I'm gonna have to try that. I did not know that at all. That's very interesting. Wacom is doing Art says Wacom is doing luxury and premium in the same way BMW and Mercedes do, and they're making every new model more expensive with worse features and more problems. Well, we don't know if this is going to have more problems. They technically added features here. I'm not sure if they're worse features, but they may not be substantially interesting, right? I mean, at the end of the day, what did we get? We got another dial and 5 more express keys. So instead of, what does this one have? Effectively, sorry, you can't see it here. This has 8 express keys. They added 2. This has 1 dial. They added another dial. That's what we got. So am I impressed by that? No. Don't give Wacom any ideas. Yeah, I hope they don't listen to what I said. Nib subscription model. Hey, you know what? Why don't they do that? If you go to Amazon and you buy toothpaste, they'll say, hey, do you want us to keep on automatically buying you toothpaste every, couple of months? I don't do that, but I could imagine they were like, hey, you bought some nibs. Why don't we just send you more nibs every month or whatever? Or next announcement starting now, driver updates will be a monthly fee of $5. Why not? I'm joking. Everyone, please remember, I'm joking. I'm just having some fun. But like, why wouldn't they do that, right? Um, they shouldn't do it. They shouldn't do it. But like, you could see somebody thinking, it, you know, this would be such a great profit for them. Sir Dukes-a-lot, I think Wacom screwed the 2025 design and drastically divided their customers. Not all of us prefer the claw technique. I don't want a turntable. I want buttons ergonomic on the side. Yeah, I think the majority of comments here are agreeing with you. They want the buttons on the side. They don't want them at the top, for sure. Oh, Arch, this is going to go down as one of your top 10 comments. Wacom added the neck and shoulder pain DLC. Bravo, my friend. Bravo. Well done. Well played. That was a good comment. The new Wacom tablet is the Tesla Cybertruck. Is that? I don't know if that's harsh or not, Inkblaster. But I could see your point. Give me the flat slab tablet. Yes. They should have stolen the Canvas 13 Gen 3 Dallas design. You are right, Mihal. I think that's a good design. You can flip it around if you want to use the button to the other side. It's symmetric. And I like the way the dials work and feel. I'm not sure about this one. As soon as I can order it, I'll order it. We'll do a live stream unboxing for you, for everyone, and let's see how it works. I'm sure they know exactly how many people use the shortcuts through driver analytics and decide to get it out of the way in favor of more room for the keyboard. Yeah, Titus, you're right. You're right. They collect data. All these devices now collect data, and they probably know exactly how many they're used. I would love to see the data on that, and which we'll never get, of course. But I'd also like to see it for these new buttons on top. Arch, Wacom launches Wacom Spa in 2027 to alleviate users afflicted by new Wacom ergonomics design. Another good one, Arch. Another good one. They could do something like only $15 USD per year, and Wacom will send you one nib monthly. Ouch. That's a lot. That's a lot. Actually, what is it? No, that's not too bad. A nib is about $1. So $15 per year. Yeah, that's about right. It's only slightly more expensive than the nibs they. But let me ask you a question to the audience: would you ever accept paying $50 a year for a plan that gave you a new tablet every 3 years and a steady supply of nibs? Would you ever consider that to be a viable? Would you do that? Or do you feel like that's beyond rational? Like you would not accept that? Let's see, Philip. Actually, a small or medium without the express keys on the side makes a lot of sense with 3D work. In 3D work, Philip, you don't like the express keys, or they make less sense for 3D work, in your opinion? Arch, I think if they're going to move the shortcuts out of the way, so there's more room for the keyboard, why include them all and make it cheaper to not include them? Arch, I thought they were going to drop the express keys completely. That was honestly what I thought was going to happen. Because let me tell you my logic behind this. They want to simplify their product to reduce manufacturing costs and increase reliability. It would make sense, and they've done this with the consumer tablets. They've removed touch, they've removed buttons, they've removed all sorts of things from the consumer tablets over time. And so I thought, and they removed the eraser from the Pro Pen 3. So I honestly thought they were going to go completely radically simple and just have a plain black plastic tablet with no buttons whatsoever, except for like turning on Bluetooth. That's it. So the fact that they actually have buttons still surprised me. The fact they're on top surprised me again. So, okay, that was because it would have saved the money, right? Just as you say. See, Philip, you get all the space for that 9,000 keyboard shortcuts you can't fit on a toolbox. Yeah, yeah. How about it includes a Wacom back brace for spine protection? That's an arch chair comment, Ink Blaster. Good job. Hey, pen tablets probably, listen, a pen display came with the back brace, I'd probably use it. Because that's one of the reasons I don't spend much time with pen displays. What makes the nib so expensive? They just want more money. Nibs shouldn't cost this much. I believe maybe it was Mihao. He found, or somebody on the Discord found a link to AliExpress. There were nibs for like 50 for $5, so like 10 cents a nib from some third party. There's no reason for them to cost $1. And some Wacom nibs are $3. So it's just a way of extracting a little bit more money. I want to own what I want to own. So no subs. Yeah, Philip, I agree with you. Like I wouldn't accept it. I wouldn't accept anything I had to pay a subscription for, especially if the tablets are this expensive. Okay, let's see. Ryan says, for 3D work, you have so many shortcuts that a keyboard just makes more sense. Express keys become wasted space and functionality. Okay, that makes sense. So you just need a lot of shortcut keys for 3D work. My water here. Express keys, Arch says, express keys on budget tablets kind of makes sense because beginners might not have access to left-handed controllers or simple keyboard setup, but all the pros use some kind of controller now. I didn't know that. I mean, I could believe it. I haven't paid so much attention to what people are using. I have seen a lot of people comment on using the Toolbox, so that makes sense to me. I hear about it more and more, but I can't figure out if that's because, there's reviews or people are just using it. Let's see, ZWE VPN. Just make Huion K200 with the other half of the keyboard, and make it Excel and let customers deal with split keyboard layout. I've actually been very curious about the K200. I could never bring myself to buy it. It's too weird for me. But it's an intriguing idea, admit. Last time I used an Express Key, Art says, was in 2013. Yeah, I rarely touch them. Let's see, Snoot. I think a pen tablet subscription would incentivize tablet companies to make the products have planned obsolescence instead of making them built like tanks. Yeah, it makes sense to me. They probably would do exactly that. Continue a comic. I like the Toolbox, even though it's a bit expensive. I do. I love my Toolbox. You know the feeling of going out of your house when you don't have your phone, like you get nervous? Like I do. I get very nervous. And I'm like, I have to go back and get my phone. That's how I feel when I draw without my Toolbox. Like if it's not on my desk and my hand's not on it, I feel nervous. It's now become something I psychologically have to use. Let's see. Mihao says, to be honest, when you have a keyboard, any extra keys on the tablet are a waste of space. Only dials matters. You don't normally have them on a keyboard. Oh, that's an interesting perspective. I admit dials are very important. And no matter how many, key presses for increasing size, etc., I prefer the dial. Absolutely. Let's see what Basic says. Too many subscriptions in my life. Please, no. Yeah. They are, they're way too many. Way too many. Andoy, man. Speaking of nibs, I've used a toothpick as a nib for my Genius battery-operated pen for a bamboo tablet. I used that for a few years before switching. That's interesting. I generally avoid telling people to use anything that's like wood because I'm always afraid that it's going to break apart, splinter inside, and then you have a tough time getting it out. So it's good to hear that in your case, it seemed to have worked perfectly and not left anything inside that hurt the pen. Continua Comic says, I didn't touch the TurboBox the first 2 months, but once I got into it, it's irreplaceable. I'm the same way. And Continua, I got the TurboBox. I used it for it's a true story. I used it for about 30 minutes and hated it. I put it somewhere else. I didn't touch it for 2 months. Tried it again. And I gave up on it again after a week or two. Put it somewhere, put it off in a closet somewhere. Tried it again a few months later. And I think that was the third time I tried it. And I made myself use it for like 3 months. And I would always my hand would just reach for my keyboard. But after a total of 6 months, I finally got my brain rewired to use the TurboBox. And ever since then, I just have to have it. But it took training. It took real training. But it is, a little expensive. Konto. I agree with the phone analogy. Yeah. Oh, good. Thank you. That's it. I'm glad to hear someone gets it. Arch, I can't wait to see what replaces the TurboBox industry standard. The D-pad is so bad. That could be improved on TurboBox, and the tour button isn't as easy. Yeah, tour button's in a weird place. Doesn't have the right feeling to me. We talked about this on our tablet envisioning stream. I really hoped Wacom would have an Express Keys Remote V2, which is really an advanced kind of TurboBox, right? Something that was really deeply integrated with its drivers and would allow all sorts of combo key presses, right? And that would have been you could. I was just thinking you could have probably sold professional artists this is now the industry standard for shortcut keys, and people would have trusted Wacom to do it, right? They would have said, "Wow, Wacom, we trust them. We have brand loyalty." And if they're going to say this is the new way of doing a tablet, then this is the new way of doing key presses, then this is shortcut keys. This is the new way to do it. So that's what I was hoping Wacom would do, because it doesn't depend on some EMR technology. It's just old technology, right? You just need to have a good driver for it and good UI to set up the shortcuts. And I'm really sad they don't do that. I heard some use pasta sticks I've heard that. Pasta sticks, which seems crazy to me. TurboBox ain't typing for you. Split keyboard, reduce footprint, and place the tablet in the front just fine. Seen some pros using either that or multiple full keyboards on the side. I tried the multiple full keyboard thing. That was just too much for me to deal with. Remember, the key benefit for me is I don't have to change my eyes. I don't have to look at what I'm drawing and then look down to see what I'm pressing, right? So the TurboBox solves that for me. See, Art says, I used the nib that came with prehistoric CTL 470, wearing it down to a cylinder. Before I realized it came with replacement nibs, well over half of it. Yeah, that's a very common story, Arch. Lots of people are you see it every now on the subreddits. They're like, oh, my nib was worn down. I can't draw anymore. Do I have to buy a new tablet? I'm like, nope. You don't even need to buy a new pen. You just need to take that nib out. And I should probably do a video for beginners explaining to them this topic, because so many people don't understand what's going on with that nib, and they wear it down and they can't remove it. Oh, Konto, you expected a Wacom TurboBox too? See, I'm not the only one. It makes sense, I think. Titus, got used to Razer gaming keypads for shortcuts, but they are so expensive with mid-quality. Hard to go back. Yeah, I've always wanted to try, but after I got the TurboBox, I was like, I don't think any sort of keypad would help me. Ryan released a video actually today or yesterday on the 8-bit micro. Is that what it's called, Ryan? It's a little like game controller type thing, and maybe people could check that out. It's very inexpensive and it's very small. It might be a good way of getting into the feeling of why Turbox might be useful. Vishal, I used a toothpick for a nib and it ruined the pen. Did it break apart, Vishal? Is that what happened? Let's see. Konto says, I have a tented split keyboard with Turbox. That's wild. It's split apart like this and the Turbox in the middle. I wouldn't have even thought about that. That's a wild. You got to send a photo of that to me. I want to see it. Because I'm going to do a stream on desktop setups for digital art. And I'd love to see that picture of that. Mihao, you're saying we already have a Wacom Turbox. It's called the Wacom Express Key Remote. I just don't think it's ergonomic, and you still have to really look at it. Like, I just never got into it. I just like the fact that Turbox is like sitting on your desk. I don't have to hold it. I can just lay my hand on it and press the buttons. But at least the Express Key Remote is in the right direction. Arch, being able to smoothly change pressure while barely stopping drawing has completely revolutionized my rendering workflow. It's way faster when I can just feel out what the position is, what size. Makes sense. Makes sense, Arch. People, ZYVPN says, people got to learn how to touch type. You ain't looking at keys anymore. Okay, maybe that's my mistake then. I'll be honest with you. I have always been a hunt. What do they call it? Hunt and peck, that kind of typer. And it's too late for me to change. Kanto says, I use the 8-bit micro on my iPad for Procreate. I think Ryan said he really liked it. I want to check it out. But does it only work for iPads? Can I use it on like a normal PC? Change. Oh, Arch, I understand. Change size, not pressure. Thank you for clarifying. Philip says he hated the Razer TARDIS Pro, but loved the Turbox. The Razer doesn't ever feel like you click until you press it with like, oh, it requires a lot of force, huh? Interesting. Side grade into a refresh, no Turbox competitor. Maybe Wacom really does want to sell displays. Let me make sure I understand this, Turbo Nerd. Someone brought this up in one of our Discords, and let me see if I can summarize the sentiment, which is that Wacom is lost, I think was the sentiment, and maybe they'll abandon. Okay, I don't think this person said this, but I'm just riffing on it myself. I think Wacom's maybe a little bit lost on the pen tablets. Maybe because we have Huion and XP Pen coming there. I think they're taking market from Wacom. Maybe Wacom, I wonder, it's plausible that they might only be targeting premium pen displays. Maybe. Anyway, sorry, I thought that was inspired by your comment. Turbo Nerd. Meow. Small controller is 8-bit do micro. Nice little tool, but sadly no dials. It's a controller for 8-bit. Oh, it wasn't intended for generic use. Just literally a controller. Okay. Kanto, there is a Discord you can join. Can I ask one of my Discord buddies, Mihao, maybe? Can you put the Discord link in there for Kanto? I can do it. It's kind of confusing with what I have on screen right now to find the link. And while we're at it, let me just tell you about the Discord. It's really a fantastic. Let me change my face. The Discord is it is very busy. We are talking about tablets nonstop the entire day, every day. I'm exaggerating a little bit. Some days are a little bit quieter, but some days are incredibly busy. Most days are at least somewhat busy. So if you really want to talk about tablets and art a little bit, it's a good Discord for that, and it's been a lot of fun. So if anyone wants to join, and I can try to find the link. Actually, I will try. I will try to find the link if no one pastes it in there. Now, some people click on the link and they say it doesn't work, but I know it's the correct link. So I'm not sure why sometimes it doesn't work. Copy link address. I think this should be it. Okay, hopefully this works here. Okay, I just pasted the link in the Discord in the chat. You got it? Okay, content found. Okay. Is it normal for Wacom 1 to read Huion stylus normally? No, that's not normal. It's not unheard of. Let me say it like this. All these pens, roughly speaking, share some common elements of how they work. And in some cases, you can see a pen partially work with another tablet of another brand. In some cases, the pen fully works. Someone found a case where it was a Wacom and an XP pen, X3 pen, and somehow that worked actually correctly. I'd have to figure out the exact models involved. In general, though, it's unusual, and I wouldn't count on it working, right? I think Wacom wouldn't want that to happen because their pens are expensive. The Pro Pen 2 is $20. The Pro Pen 3 is $130. So they probably don't like it if you're buying a cheaper pen from Huion that would work. Like, if it did work, they probably wouldn't like that. Now, could they prevent it? Maybe. Ain't late, just got to adjust, and you're using the split just as well as normal keyboard. Let's see. People are talking about what they're using. Okay, Kanto says there are other 8-bit do controller that work on PCs, but the Micro only has support for tablets. Okay, interesting. I did not know that. Thanks for clarifying it. I actually did not realize it sounds like there are multiple 8-bit controllers, and I didn't realize that. Art says, I was surprised at the throw distance on the TurboX buttons is, it sounds like you're saying less than a millimeter. The buttons are so tall, and media looks like 2 millimeters. Now, if only they'd be a tad less clicky. Modular TurboX, why not? Yeah, I like the idea. Okay, Ryan says 8-bit do micro works with macOS, Windows, Android, and iOS. Okay, 8-bit do micro. 8-bit do micro works with Windows. Okay. Thanks for Ryan. It looks like you're going to test that, so that's good. And Ultralus, I had a newer Wacom pen and worked for 3 seconds, and then Wacom sent an error, and then newer pen stopped working on older devices. Yeah, the Pro Pen 3, there's a weird trick you can do with some tablets where you can take the Pro Pen 2, bring it near the Intuos Pro, it'll work. Then take the Pro Pen 3 and bring it near, and then pull away the Pro Pen 2, and it'll at least register the position of the Pro Pen 3. But it'll stop working after a second. So it's, what you're saying is pretty typical with the experience I've found. Okay, we have gone on for quite a while. I think for over 2 hours of the stream. And anyway, I think we did a good job. We had a great discussion. We talked about the new Intuos Pro. So let's end the stream. I had a great discussion. And I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to just double check on the Wacom website if we have the prices yet for this thing. I'll click on shop now, and let's see. Just still not there in the US. They're just, oh, wait a second. Could it be? They've updated part of the site, but the store doesn't quite, it's not quite updated in the US. Okay. I was hoping I'd show you the final US prices. Anyway, as soon as I can get the store to show the tablets, I will order it, and I'll find out when it's going to arrive, and we'll do a live stream unboxing and review. I think it's going to be a very boring stream because I really don't expect to be super surprised by the tablet, but we'll have a good discussion as always. Okay. And let me just see what other comments are here. Shortcuts, cookie. Okay. With that, I'm going to wrap up the stream, and I just want to say thanks for your time. We had a good 2 hours just chatting about things. And we're going to have a good, fun just unboxing. And yeah, everyone have a great day or night. And again, thanks for all the good time we had talking tonight, okay? And with that, have a great evening, okay? And I'm going to shut down the stream.